All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone, to the Forging Theories live YouTube. I have with me three fine gentlemen: the Chief, the Tribal Chief, Chief Avian, Brandos Funkos, and Hero Scroll.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. Just relaxing on a Wednesday.
Hey, that's what it's all about. All right, this is a big one, guys. We are talking Ant-Man and the Wasp: QUANTUMANIA. Final thoughts. This is a spoiler-free zone, right? We don't want to ruin this. We know there's some leaks that are out there, but these are true, genuine opinions that we're going to be giving you guys on some of these characters. We're not going to get too deep into it. If you're someone who likes reviews, that's what the internet's for. TikTok will be overrun in what, almost a week?
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't been spoiled.
Me too. I've been staying away from like everything.
Yeah. I haven't seen a single leak yet, thankfully.
I wish I could say the same, but the faucet went from like drip to like full blown.
Oh,
like,
damn.
Dude, it's the Reddit notifications.
Yeah.
I don't know. I forgot I was telling one of you guys, but like I don't get the notifications on my phone, but when I pull my notification drop down, it was just like bam, 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 and I was like,
wow. That's annoying.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that, and then I clicked on it and I kept reading. That's my bad though. So we'll get some thoughts here, but the big thing, this is kind of like I was like doing this for like sports, before basketball season or football season, like your final preview, what's going to happen in phase 5. Phase 6 is still a little broken, delays, all that good stuff will still happen, but we at least have a decent idea of what phase 5 is going to look like. So we're going to be giving you all of our thoughts on phase 5. But first, Brandos Funkos, hit me with your favorite hero and your favorite villain.
Well, my favorite hero has to be Spider-Man, as I got the shit tatted on me. And my favorite villain, probably I'd say Darth Vader, just because I don't know, he's a freaking icon, like it's badass.
I like it.
I don't know. I feel like I don't have to explain either one, just because they're goats in my eyes.
The Chief, Fabian, what do you got?
So the superhero is going to be real easy. It's Spider-Man. My son, I named my son after him, so his middle name's Parker. So that's real easy. However, the villain side of things, that's tough, man. That is super tough. So I'll at least give my favorite Marvel villains. My favorite's Carnage, but he's not exactly like that great of a character. Like I acknowledge that. As I've gotten older, I acknowledge that. I just have a lot of nostalgia for him. So, but like for real, like my favorite Marvel villain is Thanos. Like the comic version, not that the MCU one is bad, but like the comic version hits different.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, that's high praise. That's high praise for Thanos. All right, Hero Scroll, what do you got?
Man, I'm gonna have to keep going with the trend of the favorite hero. It's gonna be Spider-Man. I mean, I think everybody grew up with him, right? So it's kind of hard not to say Spidey. As the villain, though, I like a petty villain, and none get more petty than Reverse Flash.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just the embodiment of it, and he's just great. Just pure evil for the sake of being evil. So love it.
It's like the reverse Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're so hard to choose a villain. I mean, hero a little bit too, but for me, there's so many villains I love. Like I kind of feel like I want to put Kang up there, but obviously I haven't seen the movie yet. I just have that vibe that he's gonna be my freaking favorite.
Yeah. I like that. Listen, I could easily go Spider-Man, right? And that's my foundation is animated Spider-Man, animated Batman. But I always default to Batman. Batman is always hands down my favorite hero. I love everything about Batman. When it comes to a villain, dude, that's tough. I mean, I guess I could easily go back and say Joker for that dynamic, but from a Marvel standpoint, I'm trying to think of anyone who would top Thanos. Although I did love, or I guess I kind of do. I'm an Ultron fan. I've always been an Ultron fan. I've always like I love that dynamic. I think What If kind of made it a little too far out there for me, and I'm like, wow, that's like the ultimate of the ultimate. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna lock in Batman Thanos. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. But-
Great choices.
Well, those are some good choices, but I need to know your choices for some Ant-Man and the Wasp: QUANTUMANIA thoughts. This is a big one. I'm gonna kick this one the hero scroll first.
Oh man.
We're gonna start right out of the gate. How should the movie end?
So I honestly tried thinking about this, and again, before anybody freaks out, I haven't seen a single leak or a single spoiler, so this is just me going based off of my own how I think it should end. I genuinely think they should escape the quantum realm, right? I've heard a lot of rumors of people saying, "Oh, Ant-Man should stay stuck because it goes along with his character of losing time, losing that quality time he gets to spend with his loved ones." But I think they've already done that in Endgame. So I think they should escape, but obviously by the skin of their teeth and without somebody getting either seriously injured or dying. So that's how I think it should end.
I like that. Fabian, what do you got?
Kill them all. No, I mean
phase 5 there.
from the my only knowledge right now is from the trailers. We've gotten 2 trailers, and I have not seen anything else besides like that TikTok video where Paul Rudd is pretending not to be Scott Lang. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
Like he's promoting Scott Lang's book, but he's Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
It's very meta. But based on that, I feel like the trailer is really trying to do the bait and switch of like that he's going to die, Scott. I don't think he's gonna die. I think it's the same thing. Like they're gonna escape by the skin of their teeth, or they might be there. They might be stuck there for a while altogether. Maybe they, to make up for the lack of time that they had. There's basically infinite time down there in the quantum realm, so they can pretty much live out a good amount of time and then go back to their world and be like almost nothing happened. So
Okay.
I feel like they might just stay there. So and then
Randos, what do
we'll
you got?
get them when we least expect it.
I think they're gonna get trapped in the quantum realm because it's no better way to kick off phase 5 than a freaking Kang winning type Infinity War surprise. And our hero being stuck in a void area. It just sets a nice precedent for the scene, or not for the scene, for the phase. It'll leave us guessing, obviously, what the hell is gonna happen next. And seeing Kang win is gonna freaking put him on the map and be like, damn, this guy could be better than Thanos. Could be freaking more dominant, harder to fight in every way that Thanos was. And I just really hope we get to see some sort of his full power at some point. But I don't think Ant-Man's gonna die, or I do think Hope, or I forgot the mother's name, but
Janet.
Janet. I think one of them's gonna die, or even freaking Hank Pym. One of them, there's got to be some sort of consequence. So it'll be one of them having a redemption arc to, I don't know, make up for the lack of time that they didn't have together. It's my theory.
I like that. As we talk about these things a little bit more, you get that sense of, all right, Scott probably should move on, right? Kang is that big bad, they're establishing him. But like we had that Thanos dynamic of Infinity War, heroes lose, we don't have to wait that long to see the resolution and the heroes ultimately win. Now we're getting the big bad who's in the first part of phase 5, and we have to wait 2+ years with tons of movies and shows in between. And that dynamic, it just gets me thinking of like, where do these heroes go from here, right? We have some good theories of like, Maybe everyone dies. Maybe no one dies. Maybe they get stuck. Maybe the time blip happens. Like, how much time passes in the quantum realm? Does Cassie end up being 40 when she comes out? Is she going to stay? Does she go back and she's little again? Like, who knows how this is going to happen? But I'll kick this back to you, Hero Scroll. Where should Ant-Man go from here? The movie ends. Where do we see Ant-Man pop up? Where do you think he should show up in his next appearance in the MCU?
This one's a hard question, but I think if we're going based off what we're thinking that he's not gonna die, you have him be one of the new core team Avengers members, because you've already lost, Cap, Iron Man, and there, Cap is getting replaced with Sam Wilson,
Right.
but you need more foundation, so. I think that's where he goes from there.
Okay. Real quick, we got a comment from Mikey. Mikey, I was about to call him Mikey Comments. My bad. Mikey Comics. Scott Lang dies. Kate Bishop and Cassie Lang team up to start the Young Avengers. They're trying to get out by using Shang-Chi's rings.
I like that.
This is part of my mysterious Funko when I got Funko video that I had when Shang-Chi. I got the one with the 10 rings.
Yeah.
And I put it on there, and we have those theories with the trailers of seeing, what tech that King has, what's scribed on those rings, what looks on Kamala's bands, what we saw on Shang-Chi's rings, the end credit scene where they're saying, it's reaching out, like there's a pulse, there's a message, it's communicating somehow. Real quick, I mean that's a fair point.
They got to tie that in somewhere.
Yeah, is that sooner rather than later? Like, do you think we'll get a mention of the rings and the bands in this movie? Open for anyone.
I think we will in some way, and if not this one, then later this year in the Marvels for sure.
It's got to be like a remnant of like the multiversal war that I always forget the other character, the Not One Above All, He Who Remains.
Mm-hmm.
What he mentioned, it's got to be remnants of that. I feel like that it'd be too good of an opportunity not to pass up and not mention it. Especially when
just thought.
so
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a crazy theory pop into my head about just the 10 rings in general.
Let's do it.
What if the 10 rings are remnants of, like you're saying, the multiversal war, but each ring represented a multiverse that Kang conquered, and he needs to get it back so he gets his full power from combining those 10 multiverses or whatever. I think that'll be Chef's Kiss. Great way to connect it.
Do we think that they have anything to do with his time chair? I've seen a lot of stuff floating around like that. He needs the bands and the rings to ultimately use the chair and power it to be able to travel, and that's part of the reason why he's stuck. He can't get out.
I think just from like the way the picture is of his time chair, I don't know much about Kang's time chair. I know he needs it to pretty much travel wherever he wants to travel. But just like the way it was a little circular, kind of makes you think that like the rings would go around it and be the thing that kind of moves around the chair. Give it that visual that it's working, if that makes sense.
I do feel like Shang-Chi needs to lose the rings. Like, because that character doesn't necessarily need the rings to be good at fighting.
Yeah.
Like, and it works for that situation and that story. But I think he can carry on with his character without them.
It's almost like he got that power up. That power creep happened very quickly. Like from origin, we're like, okay, we know what he's about. And then by the end of it, we're like, I mean, who can really step up to him at this point? And that's without his mastery of the rings, So it's like, if Kang is able to get them from him physically, come on now.
And maybe that's the reason that the Mandarin or Shang-Chi's dad was immortal, is that there's time flowing through them.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
I like that. That.
I heard that theory be tossed around a few times, and the more you think about it, they never really explained where they came from, other than they just kind of appeared. And same thing and not trying to get ahead, but with the Marvels and Kamala Khan's her bands, they also just kind of show up in their respective multiverses. So
I really thought that all that was going to be sourced from an Eternal storyline.
Yeah.
I thought that's where that was going to go.
I feel like there's something in Eternals that I haven't seen that movie in a while, but there's something in there that kind of seemed they had a very similar technology to what Kang had in the quantum realm from the trailers, and kind of matched up with the bangle or the rings. I forgot which ones.
Yeah.
I'm curious how they're even going to tie those characters back into the story. They seem so far removed from everything right now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they got their own thing going on, but there's stuff happening in space, so maybe.
As long as they somehow give me some more Thanos, I would be open to seeing a multiversal Thanos, or at least some sort of origin. I don't know.
Ooh,
but if
they get that good version of Thanos from What If and give him the gauntlet.
Maybe. Okay. Well, since we're on the topic of Kang, let's address him. Let's get him, and then we'll knock out the other few characters that we have. Where should he go from here, based on what you guys think of the movie? Based on how crazy, time, and unpredictable it's going to be, where would you guys like to see him? Where should he go next to kind of further what I kind of am almost going to call Kang's story? Like, I feel like they should just get rid of multiverse and just call it the Kang Saga. Just scrap it.
There's still time.
there is, yeah.
It's the word of the day. Time.
I feel like, are we talking about just this specific Kang from this movie, if there is in fact only one?
Let's go on the assumption that there's only one Kang. We're gonna see him, the Blue Kang, all that stuff. Yes, this specific variant of Kang. Where does he go next?
I think the next time we could see him is either the Marvels or Loki, and in either case, I think it's more prominent in Loki just because he already has kind of like a tether to that character in a way, because of seeing the statue of Kang at the end of the season. And it looks like, based on an image that was released today or a day before, time moves differently down here, we might be seeing the Egyptian version of Kang. I forget the name of it, because there's shots of Loki being in Egypt. So maybe Kang already knows about his other variants, and this Kang he wants to take out, and he shows up in that world. That's my best guess, is that we'll see more of Kang in some way in Loki. Probably the most likely story.
I'd be okay with that personally.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out kind of this headcanon I've been thinking on all day, and I think it's a show that's going under everybody's radar because they just kind of don't really understand why the show's coming out. I think we might get him and Agatha somehow.
Ooh. Okay.
The Darkhold was incredibly important in Phase 4. It almost kind of bookended, right? The beginning of Phase 4 and the end of it. And we still don't know where it's from. We've gotten vague descriptions where it is, but we don't know why, fully. So I think we'll probably get something with Kang there, possibly showing that either he's the author, showing how Agatha got it in relation to the time. So
now hang on now.
I like
the
that
author
theory.
of the Darkhold.
yeah,
How do we feel about that? I mean, that's an MCU origin change, but
Anything's on the table.
Yeah, I think
whatever they want.
I guess you could say like his like Mikey just said in the comments, if Catan was a variant of Kang. I was just about to say that, or Kang could have like inspired someone to do it, or to make it, and that would be awesome. Oh, freaking be nice to see a potential Wanda Scarlet Witch versus Kang in Phase 6 too. they bring her back because we know she ain't freaking. We know she ain't done.
We didn't see it. Now, what are the odds? What are the odds? This is something that I know we've personally thrown around in the past, Fabian. But is it possible that he weaponizes Wanda, and that's how he tried to the first time, or someone tried to, for whoever it might have been? I don't know if it would have been a He Who Remains or some version of Kang. Ultimately wrote that because he knows that's maybe the one person, the Scarlet Witch, is the only thing that could stop him besides himself.
I think that's great.
Yeah. So Mikey's actually a good friend of. I know him personally, and I can't remember if it was with him or if it was with someone else that I was talking about. The end of Doctor Strange, you don't see her die. So, and I can't remember if it was with Mikey. My headcanon before the movie was that Kang was using her the whole time, and we didn't get that. But again, it's not too late to just throw that out there.
I don't know, y'all. That's like the only thing. Like, see, truthfully, like when you really think about it, like this current roster, current characters that we have, who is going to stop him? I've always been on the team of the only one who can stop him is him. But when you look at any of the heroes, like we've thrown around Scarlet Witch, we've thrown around Scarlet Witch. Like there really is like how many other people? I mean, if we get the rumors of like, oh, here comes an Ultron or something, or I think Mikey's got a good point here. Does the line that Doctor Strange says to Mr. Fantastic, didn't you guys track in the 60s, pop back up like they've been stuck in the quantum realm since the 60s?
So that was a line referencing a group of musicians that actually charted in the 60s called the Fantastic Four. It's a reference back to the first movie where he was like very good with music trivia. So that's why he said that.
That makes sense.
Okay.
But
All right. Two. I'm gonna lump these two together. No disrespect to them. We have a lot that we have to get to. Where do Cassie and the Wasp go after this movie? Because I think those are the two curveballs. I think this movie is called Ant-Man and the Wasp, but Wasp has been like the untalked about character. Cassie's gaining some steam, but she said she hopes that she gets her own standalone. I don't know.
I think Wasp is about to get sidelined in this movie. I think he's got too much going on. Like, from the trailers, it looks like Kang is like the main focal point. Like they're trying to set up the big bad. They got to convince people that he is just as credible a threat as Thanos, if not more. And in a movie series that is technically more comedy than actual serious sci-fi drama, like I don't know, she's gonna get tossed to the side like in Princess Leia in Empire Strikes Back. I feel like she didn't do much in there.
Could be.
Yeah, I have no idea what's gonna happen with her. Like I didn't even really think much about it in a little briefing for the preview before here, but I think she's gonna die. I don't know. I just have a feeling she's gonna just go bye. I hope not either, because I like Evangeline Lilly and I like her as the Wasp. She's a great actress.
I just feel like she hasn't done.
But I don't know, like they could really it's either they're at a point where they'll give her way more story, or they're just gonna cut her off completely before we get more story. And that's why I'm in a gray area, because I don't know how this movie's gonna go. So it's hard to tell where I could see her go next.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's for the Wasp. It's a lot harder, mainly because again, per the trailers, it very much feels like the focus is on Scott Lang, Cassie, and Kang. Everybody else is genuinely just a side character, and that's it. They're in the movie. That's all. Cassie, I could see her kind of, I think, like we mentioned earlier, a Young Avengers team, but that's down the line. That's way down the line, I think. But for Wasp, it's a lot harder.
I gotta think the best, or I'll put it this way. I think the best case scenario for a Wasp is if we do get an Ant-Man trapped, she gets out, Cassie gets out, and Cassie wants to kind of like take up that Ant-Man mantle and kind of like make it her own, but her power set is obviously more along the lines of his. And she kind of goes through that training and that mentorship with Cassie, and like they build a bond, and like she's the one that gets the time with Cassie where Ant-Man really never does, you know, and they kind of like build that connection that way. I mean, if they did an Ant-Man 4 type thing, like, would it be an Ant-Man movie, or would it be just a focal of like Stature and the Wasp or whatever it might be, or whatever they want to call it? I don't know.
This is the last one.
Is it?
I don't think this franchise can. I don't think it has the.
So today there actually came out a news report, and I think I saw it on IGN, and they were already saying that Marvel's considering an Ant-Man 4. So
Really?
I don't know. For me, that just feels like a placeholder title of like, hey, there's going to be a continuation of this part of the MCU. We're going to call it Ant-Man 4, but I could very much see it being like, maybe that's the first introduction in the Young Avengers or whatever it might be, where like we see the origin from Cassie and then they expand from there.
Could be, yeah.
But is there interest? That's the hard part. This movie is going to feel so different from the first two, but are fans really invested? Like, do you really want to see another Ant-Man movie?
I mean, I'd want to see one with Scott, but I really don't think I'd want to see it with just Cassie and Hope.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people asked that though after Ant-Man 2, where it kind of went nowhere. I think people were like, how can you make a third one? Like, where do you go? And then they just said, throw Kang in it. And now everybody's on board, and we're like, hey, this is the most important movie.
But that's how it's always felt, though. This is Kang's movie. Yeah. I know it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. I know it's QUANTUMANIA. I get what the title is. But are we lining up to see them, or are we lining up to see Kang? Like, this is more about the future of the MCU than it is about this. But interesting point, though, to that. We got Thor 4. Ragnarok was kind of that change, that departure from what we saw originally. I feel like this is maybe that same kind of formula. And if so, I do not believe that this warrants a fourth movie.
I don't think it'll get a fourth. Unless, obviously, it's like a Cassie/Hope driven story. But I don't know. Like, I feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp was kind of thrown in there to bridge the gap between. I forgot, it came out after Infinity War, right? In that summer.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was
kind
pretty much
of
just to explain what he was up to since Civil War.
Yeah. So that was a little nice thing. But this one, it's just gonna be freaking setting up Phase 5, 6, and seeing wherever Ant-Man is in the future. With freaking, I think it'll be in, obviously, tie in elsewhere. But I can't really see him getting a fourth movie.
How much money at the box office will this take for Feige and team to look and be like, should we do another one?
I don't think this is reaching like above 700 million.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think this will hit $1 billion?
No. If Wakanda couldn't do it, this ain't doing it.
Wakanda didn't hit $1 billion?
I thought it didn't, or at least not until they maybe released it worldwide, because they were banning it in China, I believe, for a while because of something Disney didn't like, or the head of Disney didn't like, and then they switched the head. See what you've done. We've all taken to the keyboards.
Yeah.
842.
842. Yeah.
Hey, listen. Props to Wakanda Forever though for being the #1 streams premiere. I watched it. Did you guys watch it at all?
No,
Yes.
I watched
I haven't watched it since theaters.
my wife saw it for the first time. We watched it last Friday.
Yeah.
We both cried.
Dude. I had the same situation, and it was like that when the Marvel Studios part hit, I was like, uh-oh, right here, just the biggest lump. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to feel that
What?
pain again since the first time in theater.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Mikey Comics
Crack a
hitting us with
billion.
this is gonna. Yep. 350 mil stateside, 700 mil international. Now, we obviously know international is always going to pull most, but I just think from an overall MCU perspective, this has a chance to hit $1 billion plus, but I don't think it's in the same league as anything else that's hit $1 billion plus if you take King out of it. And that's easy to say, but we'll see. We don't have to wait that long.
Yeah.
In reference, Ant-Man 2 made 622 box. Wow, Captain Marvel made 1.1 billion. What the hell?
It was
Yo.
a deal at the time because it was Marvel's
Is that
first,
movie? That's
first
true.
female-led superhero. I was hyped because I liked the character, but
Yeah.
it just kind of the story kind of fell flat. But
Yeah. Yeah.
people were excited. That
Yeah.
I
plus-
believe that it hit that.
Do you believe in the Marvels?
No.
July 28, 2023?
I don't know.
Because we're flipping gears, baby. We're going phase 5 movies and shows. We're going to hit a preview. We're going to do this a little bit differently. So for you guys who are watching, throw anything that you want in the comics, answer along. We're going to ask the question, who will be your blank? Chief Fabian, I'm going to kick this to you first. In phase 5 out of the movies and shows, who is going to be your biggest surprise character, for better or worse?
Surprise character. So you know what? This is my least anticipated project, and I did not get the hype behind her in WandaVision. So I'm gonna gather that somehow magically, even though I'm not really wanting it, not even entirely wanting to even watch it when it comes out, since it has the most potential to do the most good, since our expectations are so low, Agatha.
Ooh, all right.
I'm not expecting it to be like this A+ masterpiece or anything, but since it's a show about her and they feel that she could drive her own show, I'm hoping that she's going to be a vital player and she's going to be a great addition to the rest of this saga. And who knows, she might be the most important piece. I mean, that's a pretty powerful witch. They might need her to bring back an even stronger one.
Ooh.
That's a big one.
Listen, it packs the most punch, but it's like unwanted in a lot of ways. But for that reason, it could be good. I like it. Hero Scroll. Who you got? Biggest surprise character, better or worse?
So for this one, I don't know if they're gonna be better or worse. I just think they're gonna be the surprise character, and for me, it's Riri Williams, Ironheart.
Okay.
They obviously introduced her in Wakanda Forever, and she was pretty decent in it, I think, for the time that she was in. I just don't know I don't know how well it's gonna go for her, because to a casual perspective, right? She's replacing Iron Man, and
big boots to fill.
And it's like, how do you do that? So it could either go really well, and she ends up being her own thing and everybody likes her, or it could go really bad. I'm in the middle, so I don't know yet. I just think she's gonna surprise us one way or the other.
Yeah, I like it. Brandos.
I think, I don't know why, I just have a weird feeling that Emilia Clarke's character in Secret Invasion is going to surprise a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
I think Marvel casted her for a reason. There's no way that you go out and get an actress like her just for a Disney Plus show. I haven't really looked much into Secret Invasion, or no, I'm not really caught up with the details about it, or even I don't even know who she's supposed to be playing. But I just have, I don't know, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I always liked her in there. I think she's a great actress, and Marvel definitely has something up their sleeve with her.
Feel like she might end up being the Scroll Queen.
Yeah, that would be a good theory, actually.
I'm in for that. I'm in for that. All right, I'm gonna hit you guys with it's like a package deal. It's one in the same in this essentially. I'm gonna go Deadpool / Wolverine. But I think the surprise here is going to be better from the standpoint of the first introduction and how mature they're gonna lean into these characters and present that, even with having them interact with other MCU level characters. And I don't think they're going to censor them as much as a lot of people are expecting them with the big move into
Better not.
cinematic universe.
I think, to your point, I think Kevin Feige actually came out and said they're basically handing Ryan Reynolds the key to the Deadpool kingdom.
Deadpool kills the Fox first. Let's go.
I'd be okay.
I hope so.
I'd be okay with that.
I have a question for you guys, and I mean it's kind of off topic, and I really hope I'm not throwing it off. But
Nope.
who do you think the villain for Deadpool 3 will be? I have a small theory. It's kind of out there, but I want to know what you guys are thinking.
Man, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's hard to guess how grounded that movie's gonna be.
I know who Lou wants it to be.
who?
Omega Red.
Listen, that's what we need. That is what we need. I need an explanation. I can go for days about what the Thunderbolts should do, but if you want a story, Omega Red's backstory fits with kind of that more mature, like Deadpool level style of things. Like, I think they could finally go that way. They could explain a lot more about we can go crazy on that. But yes, thank you for that. That made me like kind of like warm and sweaty and kind of that was an exciting moment.
Mine would be random, and this is just because I'm a big fan of the particular run of comics, the Uncanny X-Force. Is that, we already dealt with an annoying kid in the second one, so we might as well keep the trend going. Kid Apocalypse.
Oh gosh.
The reincarnated Kid Apocalypse.
Wow.
That'd be cool.
It'd be real left field. It's probably a better version than what we got in Apocalypse, the movie itself. Even though I don't hate that movie.
Fair.
A lot of people just don't like that rendition of Apocalypse. Poor Oscar Isaac.
You could argue he upgraded, all right? You could argue that he upgraded. Yeah. Are there any connections to that movie whatsoever?
I hope so. I hope they make fun of every little thing that people complain about in that universe.
I like it. All right. What's the theory here?
So this is my big brain theory. This is my 1 in 1 million shot. I'm just gonna say throw Kang in there. Throw another version of Kang.
I thought about that when you first brought it up.
I can't remember if it was Ryan Reynolds or Hugh Jackman that kind of hinted at time travel being involved in the movie. And if we're gonna put him in the middle of this multiversal saga and just have Deadpool be this agent of chaos in time, you just throw Kang in there. Obviously, this version will maybe be a little more like zany, slapsticky, but you can have that in a Deadpool movie and get away with it.
Does Jonathan Majors have that range in his tool belt?
Yes.
He kind of did it with He Who Remains.
Okay.
Dude, I love Jonathan Majors as Kang, and I have very, very strong words about how well I think he's going to do in this freaking role.
That
Just
man
based on
makes me want to see every movie he's ever made.
exactly,
Honestly,
dude.
yeah.
He just seeing him as He Who Remains and pulling off that kind of crazy, manipulative character, trying to get into Sylvie and Loki's head about what to do versus what not to do, and then seeing him in the trailers for Kang, and knowing that he could be playing any type of variant Kang that's freaking crazy, more philosophical type. Like, I think he has the range to pull it off, and I don't. Kang is just. I love that character. I love him. Freaking seeing Jonathan Majors as his in the Creed trailers just gets me hyped up. Like, he's pulling off a fighter, and now he's going to pull off freaking one of the biggest bads in the MCU.
Yeah.
Or in the Marvel freaking universe. That gets me hype.
All right, let's keep the hype rolling. Who's going to be the MVP? Give me your MVP male character. Give me your MVP female character. We're showing love.
Are we allowed to pick the guys?
What?
Are we allowed to pick the guys? You know, the MCU.
there's a green light on male character choices in them sheet. Yes.
All right. We're back in business, boys.
We made it.
I kid.
I put I'll take this one because I put my MVP as Kang, so I'm keeping it rolling. I'm all aboard that Kang trade, man. He's obviously we're gonna see him Ant-Man 3. The implications this movie's gonna have is gonna be crazy. He's getting his own freaking Kang Dynasty movie. Like, how are you gonna have an Avengers movie called Kang Dynasty and not be an MVP of a phase? Well, technically that's phase 6, right?
Oh man, it's all phase King.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
And then we'll be
Preview
seeing
the
him
Kangverse.
Loki. We'll be seeing him in Loki season 2. So I'm at least some sort of him, maybe just a statue or whatever. But I think we'll be seeing his backstory in Loki season 2, just like get a little, feel like a filler, kind of how Loki season 1 used the TVA as a little filler to explain the what are those things called? The rifts, not rifts.
Oh,
The broken timelines or whatever.
Speaking of that, I don't know why I didn't even say this with those connections of, you know, Mobius, the TVA supposedly being in Deadpool. I mean, if Deadpool does and Wolverine, they show up. I mean, I feel like Kang would be a pretty solid choice.
Yeah. See, he could be even be in freaking Deadpool 3. This man's gonna be the MVP of the phase. Josh Brolin, Thanos level 5s. I'm putting my money on that.
Now, here's a side question. I know this had nothing to do with MVP, but how many like henchmen or like horseman level people does Kang have? Let's just assume MODOK, bam, that's one. He's working for Kang somehow, some way. But like, is it possible that he has all these other bigger villains? Like, you know, you'd mentioned the Darkhold, like some things that we've already seen, but those are
Mephisto. Confirmed.
honestly right.
Yeah.
I would like to see, and this is really random, but he would just be so silly in live action. It would be great to see him like just show up and be one off as one of like the henchmen or horsemen's Whirlwind.
Ooh.
You know, the green
Yeah.
the green top dude. Yeah, he's like almost a nobody, and nobody would ever take that seriously. But I think it would play like if you put that in Deadpool 3, and they just made a gag out of it. Like, I'd love to see that.
That'd be pretty cool. I like that.
In the comics, I forget their name, but he does have a group of mercenaries working for him. They're almost like the Black Order to Thanos. They're like his little mini version. For the life of me, I'm forgetting their names. But I don't know. They're two deep cut for people to actually probably care. But I could see them giving him a team of evil Avengers to fight against, or fight
Dark
with.
Avengers.
Yeah, as his henchmen, and then that's how you get the Dark Avengers in the MCU.
Well, if they did that,
It's
and I
cool.
saw that on screen, I would start flipping seats.
Oh, that would be crazy. That's how you would get Osborn in the MCU.
That'd be cool.
If you put a new, like, he wouldn't have had all the Green Goblin stuff happen to him yet, and then he was just kind of like their version of Tony Stark wherever he's coming from.
Yeah.
But he's actually kind of not a good person. Genius. Cut the check.
Feige, where's our money?
Honestly, can you imagine the stuff that he gets? And like, there's like that goal, like, there's something in an envelope, and he's like, no, and he's like, wait a second. He picks one up, and he's like, this. It's like the person who designed that Nike symbol. You know, they got like nothing for it, but then Nike blew up. And it's just, I don't know, interesting.
That'll be us.
All right,
watching.
let's keep it rolling. MVPs.
So MVP male character, I feel like Shang-Chi with the rings, without the rings, but being the character with that has the rings that have some sort of importance to the saga, as we're theorizing. I feel like he's going to be a big player at the end. Female MVP is probably going to be Riri Williams. I feel like she's like their next level genius that they need right now, and that could come in handy.
We all need a genius on the team. I like it.
Yeah. I think for me, my male character, I'm gonna go with Loki again.
Loki again. He was your Phase 4 MVP.
He was actually, yeah.
Okay.
Just because he kicked it off, honestly. Without Loki, you don't get the multiversal stuff. You don't get to see an early version of Kang. So I think we're gonna get a reveal in season 2 that is on level with the reveal on season 1, and he will be behind that, I think. As for the female character, Kamala Khan, I feel like she's the heart. She's the heart. She's us. She's the super.
I have her as my female also.
Yeah, she's the super fan that likes this stuff, and we're gonna get to see it through her eyes. I definitely think like movies like the Marvels will be told through her eyes.
Okay.
There's so much of her story left also. Just like Miss Marvel barely, or not, yeah, Miss Marvel barely put a glimpse into it.
Now, keeping with these themes, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna go out on a limb here from a female character. Dare I say it? Any guesses?
She-Hulk.
Yelena.
Is it Echo?
No, definitely not Echo. No. I had such high hopes, and that's a whole different story. And that was a letdown for me. That was a big time. That was like the biggest sigh I could ever have, and I was like, wow. Okay, well, that happened. Yeah, I actually am gonna go She-Hulk. She-Hulk is gonna be my MVP from the female side. She's equipped to be better than the Hulk ever was. I'm sorry. Until we get a World War version, I think She-Hulk could play that line of the brains and the brawn, but we actually get like a human version of her, and then also like crazy She-Hulk power. As for male character, besides Shang-Chi, I can't think of a hero who I would probably put in that spot. I just think
to the villain side. Put Kang.
He's gonna be good, but I look at it this way though. If he does, and when he does lose those rings, for the same reasons Fabian was saying, like, we're gonna get like Shang-Chi, like the actual one, where we're gonna see him dive into what made him great in the comics, and the sky's the limit for him. But yeah, those are my two: Shang-Chi and She-Hulk.
Where do you think My bad.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, where do you think she comes back though? Like, what do we see her next in?
Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean that's
Maybe even Echo, if it exists, if it's still happening.
else is.
Maybe we see a version of her in What If or Secret Invasion also.
Dude, her what if
She could deal with
episode
some
would be
legal
terrible.
cases about
Her What If episode better be just like 20 minutes of her just straight twerking. I just I can't even imagine what the internet would be like.
What if She-Hulk became the twerking world champion?
No, her what if episode is going to be them like pitching ideas for shows, and then it's going to be like Feige and all them in a room. They're just like, "What if we do She-Hulk?" And they're just like, "No," and then just erase it. That's the what if episode. All right, comeback character of the phase, based on the movies and shows. Who do you guys have as someone who maybe didn't do that much in the original phase 1 through 3, and then 4?
There's only one choice. Oh.
I can only, truthfully, I only thought of one person for kind of like a comeback.
I mean, he basically practically wasn't even a part of this universe for so long, and people were begging for that for so long. He's been gone for a long time.
Who are we talking
He's
about?
literally
Hugh
making a
Jackman?
comeback.
Is it?
Hugh Jackman. Is that who you're talking about?
He's leaving
What?
us on a
Did we
line.
lag-
Did you
lag
say
out?
it? Yeah.
Oh, I
no.
said,
I think he
so
liked
you
that.
guys didn't hear a word I said after I said there's only one choice?
No, no.
I heard
Oh
a little
my.
bit. I heard a little bit after
I'm
that.
still guessing. I'm looking at the
It's
screen.
kinda
I'm
like-
what
No,
show?
I mean Hugh Jackman is another one, but he had like a whole era to like rule. So I
That's
don't
true.
like he kind of like he brought us up, and we wouldn't have what we have today without him.
Very
But
true.
the one that hasn't gotten to play with them, that was kind of just this close to playing with everybody else this entire time, was Daredevil.
Ooh.
Yeah, Daredevil.
He never got to be a part of this world entirely, and now he finally can play with everybody. And he's been gone for a while. He ended off on a great season 3 at Netflix. Who knows if that world even exists? If it's the same Daredevil, if we have a variant Daredevil, we don't know who this is. So I'm very curious to find out in that show. So if that show turns out all right, it's a big comeback.
I'll give you that. For as much as we love, like I think everyone loves Charlie Cox and Daredevil and everything that he did, but I still think there is something that he has to prove as the MCU Daredevil, especially with how long that show is supposed to be, and for how much fans are like, man, do I really want to see a Disney Plus show for 6, 7, 8 weeks? Like, here's 18 episodes. So I mean that there's a lot, like that's kind of make or break MCU Daredevil in my opinion. I think Netflix is set in stone, like that's goated, but I'm gonna make mine real quick. Captain Marvel, just leave it at that. Just gonna say Captain Marvel.
It's possible. Not impossible. It's possible.
I'm gonna say Blade.
Ooh,
Just because I mean we got the tease of him in Eternals, so he didn't really do anything, so that counts as a comeback. And I think it's been so long since we've had anything Blade related that Blade fans are dying of thirst.
oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I wonder how people will respond to that, because I feel like the Wesley Snipes Blade was like kind of its own offshoot version of Blade. Like for a while, I didn't even know that was a Marvel character.
Yeah.
And then the facts came out. You get educated, and I feel like if this Blade is more comic accurate, it might alienate some people, because their entire idea about Blade isn't all going to be from the comics. It's going to be Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. I think they
That's
have to
fair.
hit that. They have to hit that middle ground where he is this charismatic, kind of over the top character, but also comic accurate, where he's a little more kind of serious. So
my thing, and we've had a separate conversation about this when it comes to Blade. My big question that I don't know how they're going to do it is how do they showcase his skills and abilities and also still keep him somewhat grounded in whatever that underworld style type of theme is going to be. I feel like you can get really over the top with him, but I look at like a Moon Knight. Like Moon Knight felt like it was on its own island. Like I almost feel, and we kind of, you'd mentioned like Wesley Snipes' Blade felt like it was on its own island. It didn't even really feel Marvel. How do they make it feel connected without, you know, kind of diluting all that Blade is? Very long-winded question.
I think you almost connected back to something like Werewolf by Night, where that, because obviously, you know, the werewolf character could have been completely over the top, yet they kind of still kept it on that line where it's like, hey, it's a little more, it's a different take than you've seen on typical werewolf movies. And then you have a character that is completely over the top in Man-Thing, yet that was everybody's favorite. So I think with Blade, it'll be a lot easier. I think
They have the seed planted a little bit with his Eternals post-credit scene also. So at least there'll be like some sort of tie-in to a character we already met in the MCU. If they dive more into that into the Blade movie, at least.
They'll probably, I feel like they have to make him like a foreign character, or like most of his adventures have to be on like not in America. Because I mean, most of the heroes that we have are based in America, so the way to keep them separated is literally to keep them separated, like physically. Some like random small town in a like, I don't know, in the woods that hasn't been claimed, like you just start there.
The interesting thing though is, where do they go with that post-credit scene? Because Dane Whitman is all about getting Cersei back, and we have a Celestial that pulled up to Earth that was just like, you're coming with me. And then he's like, you really want to pick that sword up? So I almost wonder if it's kind of a dual, like, do they just start the movie and just move on from that? And they're like, yeah, Black Knight's doing his thing. Is he even Black Knight? I don't know. When do we even get Black Knight answers or Eternals answers, like we had said before? Or is this kind of like an origin? I don't know if you guys heard the original script of what it was supposed to be, but it sounded awful in my opinion.
For the Eternals?
No, for Blade.
Oh, for Blade? No, I haven't heard.
I haven't seen her.
Long story short, he's almost like a mentor to Blade 2.0. And we didn't even have Blade yet, so it's...
I don't like that.
Who's the mentor?
He is. To, I forget if it's his daughter or someone, like that was the way that it was supposed to be originally pitched. And that's kind of what began the whole rift of like Mahershala Ali's like, there's no action in this. B, I don't have many scenes where I'm doing what I want to do. And B, I just started. Why am I kind of pushing towards the end of what a character run would be? So...
yeah, that doesn't make sense to get an actor like him to just be a mentor for a movie.
Yeah, that's interesting, because if they're going with Blade's daughter, she only just got her own comic series last Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So for them to just be like, yeah, that's who we're gonna base it off of. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Blade's definitely going to be interesting. But speaking of that, what do you guys see being the best movie of Phase 5? Let's say besides Quantumania.
Damn it.
That's the easy joke.
I think Deadpool 3. Deadpool 3 has the potential to either be the best movie of like top 5 freaking MCU movie, or they could do it terribly wrong. but I feel like it's way more on the side of how they're giving the creative control to Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman that it will be a good movie, but like there's still the off chance depending on the execution of it going bad, which would suck.
Yeah. Is it weird when every time I get to Deadpool 3, I just picture the runtime being like an hour 45 minutes in total. I don't know why I have that
would
thought
be
in my head.
disappointing.
Sad face.
Yeah.
I don't know. 3 hours, man. At least.
Needs to be at 2 minimum. Could use like a whole hour just to explain how they freaking got in with each other.
Yeah. 2:30 is like my sweet spot. 3 feels like depends on who's writing. Like it could drag on. 2, I'm like you probably could use an extra 15, 20 minutes. Like 2:30, I feel like is good. 2:20, 2:30. But best movie, Fabian, Hero Scroll. Who you got?
I'm going Guardians. Guardians 3. It's probably gonna be the best, most emotional movie. Emotions make for a lot of good movie. So
Has that changed for you with James Gunn really leaning into the DCU? Do you feel differently about Guardians now?
no, I still feel like he wouldn't want to like sabotage it or like leave himself in a corner. Like he's just kind of ending. I feel like I'm gonna get a satisfying ending to that team.
I like that.
I think it's more so like the movie was kind of been done filming and just in post production since he even took over for DC. So it's like it might not really reflect too much into it. It'll just be a nice conclusion, obviously. But he doesn't seem like the person that would freaking just go sabotage a movie.
Yeah.
I don't think he would sabotage his own baby. Because the Guardians, let's be honest,
he would sooner sabotage the entirety of DC Studios before he sabotaged Guardians.
Especially just knowing that. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say just knowing that James Gunn got his second chance again. I see him putting a freaking cherry on top on that team.
I'm gonna give you guys a curveball real quick. The Marvels. That's what I'm gonna say is gonna be the best movie.
The best, fam?
The best. I think at the end when we look at it, the Marvels will be the one. I think it has the element to give us more than we expect. Like Guardians, I feel like we have an expectation. We know with Kang, Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's gonna have an expectation. Deadpool 3, like we're all really looking forward to those things. I'm not gonna say that the Marvels is not gonna have a massive review count that's extremely mixed, and it'll ultimately end up getting some Rotten Tomatoes audience score of like 50. But I think that it has the elements of you can have the redemption of Captain Marvel. You get what does Photon look like? The next step for Kamala Khan as a hero, an expansion of the universe. Like we're seeing the Guardians kind of coming to a close, Thor is kind of coming to a close. Like that space base piece of the MCU, I feel like there's a lot of question marks out there. Like the Marvels could really lean into giving us answers and giving us curveballs that we weren't expecting, but they're for the best, and still include pieces with Kang that we don't already assume based on what we've already said. I just think that the ceiling is pretty high for the Marvels, but it could also flop.
I agree with that because it'll be different this time. That freaking like before Captain Marvel came out, everyone was hyped to see the movie, obviously because it was Marvel's first female-led superhero movie character, but also to see how freaking powerful she was and how it would incorporate into Endgame. This time, a lot of that pressure is off because it's not coming out before an Endgame type movie. So I think that'll help it, and especially with character like Kamala, character like Monica, was pretty much well known from WandaVision. And then Brie coming back as Captain Marvel will be. It has a lot of potential, like you said.
Will we get a fourth Marvel in that movie? The Blue Marvel.
Please.
I don't even know.
Please.
I think he's teased at least somehow. Yeah,
I just got his Marvel Legend on clearance the other day.
That's a steal.
I would have $7 for a $25 figure.
That's a steal.
I got 2 of them, but they had so many of them. I was like, this character's awesome. Why is he peg warming? Great looking toy.
Yeah.
I think not enough people know about him yet.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who he is.
Soon.
Yeah.
He was actually in Spider-Man the animated series.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Long ago.
What's his name? Blue Marvel?
Weird arc. Yeah, Blue Marvel.
I'm gonna throw another curveball for the favorite movie. Thunderbolts.
Oh.
Just because I think everybody wrote it off the second that they announced the team. And don't get me wrong.
That's my most anticipated one because I'm curious how they're gonna pull that off.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I think they're gonna do well because you don't pick a team of characters you kind of did wrong in the first movie. Like, you don't bring back Ghost and you don't bring back Taskmaster for no reason. And you also don't have it end off the phase for no reason, especially knowing how big of a phase 6 will be. So I think that's going to be just because our expectations are so low, and Marvel, I think, has done a decent job of learning from their mistakes, that Thunderbolts is going to be really good. Hopefully I don't eat those words when the movie comes out and this movie was trash.
Do we get a Red Hulk in Thunderbolts?
Not in Thunderbolts. You get him in Captain America.
Post credits.
Hmm.
Yeah, you get him in Captain America: New World Order. That's when you get him.
Wait, but Captain America comes
That'd be
out
good.
before Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
So he won't be in the Thunderbolts movie?
I don't think so.
Maybe for Thunderbolts too.
I'm not the biggest advocate for the Thunderbolts movie. I think that they need someone like a Red Hulk, but so many times in the past when I thought that a movie needs someone and then it absolutely definitely does not happen. So I'll agree with you. He's probably not going to be in Thunderbolts because I really want it. Fabian, did you give us your best movie?
I said Guardians.
You did. You did start that. Well, give me your least favorite movie then.
Least movie? Oh my. So I don't mean to completely short side what you picked for the best one. But I feel like the Marvels has a lot and is fighting an uphill battle. Be running up that road. That's not. I love Kamala Khan. I actually like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. It's got an uphill battle, like from the reputation that Captain Marvel has, and we haven't seen Monica in anything else since WandaVision. So I don't know.
Crap.
It could very well be a good time, but
crap. Dude, they need a movie for those powers though. Think about it though. 2/3 of them we saw that did not have the budget that's necessary for their power set, and the other one that we saw was thrown in and was very done poorly in my opinion. Like if we get
she doesn't have to have powers in wherever else I see her. I just want to see her.
That's fair. I'll take that.
That movie comes out a day after my birthday, so it better be good just for so I have a nice birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
4 months early. Wow, that's kind of crazy though. We have February, then Guardians in May, then the Marvels in
Yeah.
July.
Stuff's about to really start kicking off.
Ooh. You're gonna make me look real bad here in a few months. I'm gonna go real quick. I don't know if you guys have this, but I'm curious your thoughts. I'm gonna go. My least favorite movie is gonna be Captain America.
Really?
I think this has potential to just be like a what did we just watch? Out of everything on this list, I feel like this has the biggest potential to miss everything that Sam's going to stand for. I don't know how Harrison Ford's going to be. The leaders should be good, but we really don't know. They're bringing back like old Hulk stuff. Like,
What about the Serpent Society? The most iconic villains of all.
the internet is going to take them and just ruin them. Like, I don't know. This movie, the upside to this movie for me, I just don't feel it's there, and I'm not necessarily as excited because in the end, I do feel that Sam's gonna pass the mantle again to someone.
Already?
Yeah, I don't see him. I just don't see him existing beyond this movie. Like, this is someone. If you were to ask me, like, where does he go from here? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't even know if I can make something
Why
up.
wouldn't he assemble the Avengers for Secret Wars?
Why would he assemble the Avengers for Secret Wars?
Because that's the job he
He's-
took.
Yeah.
It's in the bio on LinkedIn.
It's the
Their
job
father
qualifications.
assembler. Nah, man, he's gonna get that like looking, you know, like that purple or whatever ring around his profile picture, like looking for a job, actively searching. Been stripped of my
no.
title by Thunderbolt Ross.
I agree with you. The more I looked at it, because I was having a hard time picking one, but I kind of agreed that it feels like the outlier out of everything in this phase, and
Like-
this is kind of my dumb rationale, but it's my rationale that every franchise, every big like hero franchise has had a miss. The only one, and obviously this is subjective, but I think overall a majority, Captain America hasn't really missed. The first three didn't miss, and this has a lot riding on it with a new Captain America that if people didn't watch the Disney Plus show are going to be very confused where he's coming from. Even though they know him, they're going to be, why is he Captain America now? And then why are we bringing back the leader? Like you said, again, it's a villain that I don't think anybody was clamoring like, bring back the leader.
I'm excited for him, but I do kind of feel that way. Like, I don't feel I very much feel this movie like I felt with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, it's there. Like, it's not the worst, it's not like my favorite, but it's just
I think this movie might come out a little too late. Maybe this should have been one of the early releases. Like, to me, I feel like it should have come out now. Like, Quantumania and that should have swapped places. Like, this should have been like, literally, I should be watching Captain America in 2 weeks or in a week. Like, we haven't seen Sam or anything in so long. Like, at least we've gotten references to Ant-Man and everything. Like, nobody's even referenced in any of these other projects that Sam is the new Captain America.
nope. That's the issue. That is the issue. Right there. If we're gonna say, all right, what is his kind of main goal for this phase is to rally the crew. If anyone should rally him, I think Scott would be the person. Like, he's Mr. Like, I'm an Avenger. And I just got smoked in the quantum realm. Like, guys, like, I'm the one that got sent from the Bifrost down through the Sanctum, and I'm like, Thanos is coming. Like, I know what Ken can do. Like, this is who we need. I think that could have been Sam. But I think it's a very good point, valid point. Too little, too late. Sure, they have plans for back-to-back New World Order and then Thunderbolts, and I'm sure they'll go somewhere. But if this kind of picks up with where Valentina or Val and Ross their piece in Wakanda Forever of like, hey, we need to go if this is like an adamantium material, all that kind of stuff, like the celestial rumors that are running around of like that's what this movie is going to be centered around, is who's going for it. Like, I guess, but I don't think Cap needs to be a part of that.
I think it's harder when you have the front end of your phase being all this cosmic space and, you know, big time kind of out there characters, and then just bringing him back to a very grounded Captain America like character. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to get ramped up and then just come back down really hard with Cap.
Yeah. The stuff that they've like split up for all these releases between Phase 4 and 5 is just kind of awkward. I feel like we got a lot of Earth in, like, you know, we got our grief phase out of the way, but a lot of it took place on Earth. And
COVID definitely didn't help with that though, with the whole freaking
Yeah.
reshooting and scheduling.
because a lot of these movies originally came out slated to be Phase 4 projects.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 4 was even bigger than what we all complain about now. Nah, I'm not saying us, but like, you know, what the fans complain about.
Yeah.
I don't complain about anything. I love everything.
I'm in that boat, but I mean, truthfully though, besides Echo,
Oh god.
even Secret Invasion, seriously, even Secret Invasion, I feel like will be bigger and have some more implications than New World Order from a hero standpoint.
Poor Echo.
Dude, just the I just need to throw this out here. Echo should have never been debuted before they did MCU Daredevil. I just want to say that. We should have had the Hand, Elektra, Daredevil, whole crew should have been established, and then you bring in Echo and keep that very true to the source
And do better.
and do way better. But think about it though. Think about the baton passing between heroes. Like Echo would have been a perfect character to be handed off a Daredevil-ish like mantle of someone who to replace him, like a Kate Bishop to a Hawkeye type of thing, or something like that. Like, I don't think they should be running side by side.
Yeah,
I think if you really wanted to take a character just to say, like, I think that they should have got rid of Echo, put in Bullseye, and with those two. But that's just me. Just me. Did we
Agree with
give
that.
our least favorite movie hero, Brandos? You said yes. Brandos, you're up.
I had put Thunderbolts, but I'm kind of hopping on the train of New World Order now.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh
But Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash. And Scott Hall.
but dude, I don't know. Thunderbolts, like
Squad.
when it first got announced, it just seemed like it was just, I don't know, like only person that could carry that is gonna be Bucky and Yelena, maybe Red Guardian, but I don't know. It just seems obviously it'll be their attempt at a Suicide Squad type movie.
It's just gonna be Black Widow too.
But
That's yeah.
I don't know. Like I just
Do we want to see that?
I don't know.
Would-
That's what
Would
we're
you want to
getting.
see a Black Widow too?
No, that's what Thunderbolt is.
Yeah.
That's Thunder.
Oh
it's like
yeah.
in disguise.
yeah.
Yeah.
don't know if I'd want to see that.
If it's
I don't know.
Yelena,
I don't really care for it. I'm happy to see Bucky and Yelena. But other than that, like, is
This-
it really gonna be that needed? Knowing all this other Kang and freaking multiverse stuff is going on, like it'll be there to ground the heroes, or I guess while the heroes are dealing with that other stuff, they go to the Misfits to deal with this stuff. But I don't know.
I'm okay. Like, I just think that for me, the Thunderbolts hinges on the villain. I think it needs to be like an Ultron level type villain, or an Avengers level Earth-based threat. Like, no, I'm not gonna like ruin the multiverse, but I may drop a city on someone. So,
That makes sense.
all right, fellas, we're gonna power through this. We're gonna go 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning so we can get to the close. We're gonna speed through these next couple ones. Fabian, I'm gonna start with you first. Best Disney Plus show. Go.
Daredevil.
Daredevil. Hero Scroll.
Loki.
Brandos.
I was tossed up between Loki or Daredevil, but I'm going with Loki.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Agatha. High hopes. High hopes.
Out of left field.
No,
like
man.
it. I like
It's
it.
true intro. True intro. Least favorite Disney Plus. Fabian.
If What If doesn't count, it's gonna be Agatha.
What if? I don't know if I count What If ever.
I don't know.
What if it's its own thing?
It's true.
All right, that's fair. What if Agatha? Okay. Hero.
Marvel Zombies.
Ooh. Okay.
Just because it's not gonna be like the comic.
It's not gonna be like the comic, and
That's exactly why I won't like it.
I honestly, this is gonna be people might hate me. I don't like the comic either. I
Well,
think
it gets bad after the first part.
yeah, to me it was shock factor for the sake of shock factor, and I feel like that's what this is gonna be. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, look how we're killing everybody." Oh.
Yeah. Fair. Brandos.
Echo. I don't know. I just not biggest fan of the character. I feel like it's one of those shows, kind of like how She-Hulk was for me, where it's just like I'll watch it, enjoy it, but I'm not really gonna put any favoritism or anything towards it.
That's fair. All right, gentlemen. We're gonna close with this one. We've kind of touched on most important characters. We kind of touched on which movie might be the most important in Phase 6. Kind of set those things up. But I'm curious, what do you guys think is going to be marketed as the biggest moment, or let's even say the biggest movie that's going to flop? And by flop, I guess I mean, I'm not talking like She-Hulk level tanking, but just consensus will be we probably didn't need that. Biggest moment that will flop.
Thunderbolts. That's for me.
Okay. Well, what about the Thunderbolts? Thunderbolts is about to come out. This is a very strange question, but I just want to take it one step further real quick. What about the Thunderbolts? Is it what they do? Is it the team? Is it the what specifically? The Thunderbolts?
I think it's because it's going to be kind of like this pseudo sequel to New World Order. The events to it, it's going to probably lead right into it. It's going to make it feel super important, but then the movie is going to be a complete letdown.
Yeah, I feel like Marvel is going to rely on a lot of heavy marketing to get the hype towards it. Because we said, we're going
New World Order is the launch pad.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that much of a comic reader, so I could be missing great stories from them. And I don't know much about them, but just hearing what the movie's gonna be about and stuff from the reveal, I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those movies that Marvel's gonna try to hype up so much and not perform very well.
It's fair. I'm gonna go Daredevil. It's my bold prediction.
That hurt.
Bold prediction. Daredevil. It's gonna be really long. How long are the episodes gonna be? Are people gonna stay on board? Disney Plus isn't the hottest thing. I feel like if there is anything that's marketed very high, that's going to be knocked down a few pegs. Best chance I feel like is Daredevil. Who's going to be, the villains? Is it going to be the She-Hulk Daredevil that we got? And there's going to be so many comparisons to the Netflix Daredevil. If they don't hit that, I feel like the core fans and those that really know about who that was, they may tune out for a few weeks and binge a few. And I don't know if it's going to be a must see every week or however they announce it.
I'll say I believe you, and I see your point because all the Disney Plus shows across the board, even in Star Wars, have been hit or miss. You got Mandalorian's knocked it out of the park, but then you got Boba that's been not kind of Mando 2.5, and then you got Obi-Wan that was a letdown for a lot of people. And just to say that they brought back Ewan McGregor for that out of nowhere
Yeah.
and managed to make a show, and it still was just like not really that great. It could happen to Daredevil. Like whatever's going on with this Disney Plus productions, like it wouldn't shock me if more of these Disney Plus shows still did not land correctly.
Yeah.
Even like the best of them, like Moon Knight, still are shaky for a lot of people.
Yeah. Valid. Anyone else have any thoughts?
I think mine is definitely more of a moment instead of like a show or a series or a movie. Better say. Everybody and their mother has been still talking about what broke the timeline back in Loki, like what deviated it, and we've all been rumoring about it. We've all been saying it was this, it was Wanda, it was something else. Marvel, I feel like, is gonna tell us what it is, and it's gonna be really dumb, and people are gonna be mad.
That could be. There's a lot of confusion around that. A lot of confusion. I just hope that there's enough time with some of these shows. Like if they make any edits, this is where I feel like I hope that they listen to the fans when they try, or if part of the setup for these big reveals, like what you had mentioned, if they don't land, make that change. I'm not saying get rid of the show. I'm not saying get rid of the characters. I'm not saying any of those things. But if you have the ability to kind of tweak, hey, this is the endpoint that we initially had, and everything that led up to phase 6, like let's maybe make a little change if we can, or reshoot this or that. I don't know. That's not ideal, but I do agree. Like there are a lot of loose ends where people are crafting some major theories for, and part of that is on us, but this should feel really big at this point from here on out for the next couple of years. And I don't know if it's going to feel as big. I hope it does. But with that, fellas, I gotta say I enjoyed every single second with you guys. It was great. Brandos, appreciate you hopping on. Hero Scroll, always great seeing you. Yeah, we'll reconnect. Oh yeah, my bad. Tribal Chief, always appreciate you, man. It was great. So thank you for all of you who are watching, who made it through. Enjoy Ant-Man and the Wasp: QUANTUMANIA. Come back to the Forging Theories live stream. We will be talking about the fallout from Kang's movie. What is it called? Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's right. We'll see.
All aboard that Kang train, B.
All aboard the Kang train. All right, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one. Have a good night.
Have a good night.